Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join this online meeting today. I know you are all busy, and I really appreciate your participation. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Jong-Sok Han, and I am the director of ABLE. This year marks the 4th Kota Kinabalu Family Camp, and we are very excited to work with all of you. During the camp, I hope we can support each other, work as a team, and help make this camp a successful and memorable experience for all our families and students. Now, I would like to introduce our camp manager, Ane. She will be responsible for the overall management and daily operations of the camp on site. Now let's move on to the camp overview. The Kota Kinabalu Family Camp will run from July 27th to August 21st. All teachers should arrive by July 25th. We will have a pre-camp meeting on July 26th at 11 a.m. The meeting location will be announced later. We will use 2 classrooms during the camp. The class names are Growable and Awesomeable. Each class will have approximately 10 students. The students are between 7 and 12 years old. Classes are held 5 days per week, and each teacher will be responsible for 8 class periods per day. The regular days off are Monday and Friday. However, during the final week of camp, the days off will be Monday and Thursday instead. Please make sure to remember this schedule when planning your activities and lessons. Let's move on to the next page. This page shows the locations of the accommodation, the school, and the airport for our Kota Kinabalu Family Camp. We will use ABLE Camp vehicles for all transportation. The distance between each location is very convenient, and it takes about 15 minutes by car to travel between them. Let's move on to the next page. This is the overall camp schedule. All teachers should check in to the accommodation by July 25th. The check-in instructions will be provided 1 day before your arrival. After arriving at Kota Kinabalu International Airport, please use the Grab app to travel to the accommodation. Please take a screenshot of your Grab fare and send it to us. We will reimburse the transportation cost. The accommodation is Jesselton Quay City Pad Tower. You can easily find the location on Google Maps. On July 26th, we will have our first offline meeting at 11 a.m. The meeting will be held at a cafe on the ground floor of the accommodation building. Please arrive by 10:50 a.m. The exact meeting location will be shared separately. One important thing to remember is that our regular days off are Monday and Friday each week. However, during the final week, the days off will be Monday and Thursday instead. Please make sure to remember this schedule. Also, all teachers are required to complete weekly report cards for their students. I will explain how to write the report cards in detail later in this presentation. Please complete your weekly report cards every Monday. The final report card submission date will be Thursday, August 20th. After completing your reports, please send a message through WhatsApp to confirm that they have been submitted. Classes will continue until the morning of August 21st. In the afternoon, students will take their final test, followed by the graduation ceremony. After all camp activities are completed, teachers can check out of the accommodation on the evening of August 21st and depart from Kota Kinabalu. Please arrange your flight schedule accordingly. More detailed information about the final day and checkout process will be provided later. Let's move on to page 6. This page shows the schedule for the first day of camp. At 10:30 a.m., students and parents will gather at the pickup zone and travel to the school using the camp shuttle. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., we will hold a general orientation in the main lecture hall. After that, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., students will take a placement test. During the placement test, parents will return to the accommodation. At 1 p.m., students will have lunch. From 2 p.m., each class will have a classroom orientation with their teachers. Please use this time to get to know your students, explain class rules, and help them feel comfortable. There will be no sports lessons on the first day. The day's schedule will finish at approximately 3:30 p.m., and students will return to the accommodation by camp shuttle. Let's move on to page 7. This page shows the regular class schedule. On regular class days, the camp shuttle will leave for the school at 8:50 a.m. Please make sure to board the shuttle in front of the accommodation by 8:40 a.m. Classes begin at 9:30 a.m. Please refer to the timetable on the screen for the detailed schedule. Each teacher will teach a total of 8 class periods per day. 6 periods will be student classes. 1 period will be a class with Director Annie, and 1 period will be a parent class. Parent classes are held only on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and each class lasts for 1 hour. The parent classes will take place at the designated cafe on the ground floor of the accommodation building. school classes finish at 4 p.m. After class, students will move to their swimming or golf lessons. Teachers will briefly stop by the activity location and then return to the accommodation. After arriving at the accommodation, teachers who have parent classes should go directly to the designated cafe and conduct their lesson there. On parent class days, we will provide an additional allowance of 10 ringgit for your drink purchase at the cafe. Please feel free to buy a drink and enjoy a comfortable class environment with the parents. Let's move on to the next page. This page shows the schedule for the final day of camp. The final day is August 21st. On this day, regular classes will be held only in the morning. After lunch, students will take their final test, followed by the graduation ceremony. All parents will attend the graduation ceremony, so it will be a special event to celebrate the students' achievements and progress during the camp. After the ceremony, everyone will return to the accommodation, and the official camp schedule will come to an end. Teachers may check out and depart on the evening of August 21st. Before checking out, please make sure to return your accommodation key to Director Annie. Please also leave your room clean and tidy before departure. Please note that there is a penalty of 300 ringgit for a lost accommodation key. If any property or equipment is damaged, the responsible person will be required to pay for the damage. Now let's move on to the next page. This page contains a camp video. Please click the video and let's take a few minutes to watch it together. Also, below the link, you will find a camp information link. When you click the link, it will open our Notion page. This Notion page contains almost everything you need to know about the camp, including schedules, policies, teaching information, accommodation details, and other important guidelines. I will share this link with all of you after the meeting. Please take some time to review the information carefully before the camp begins. All native English teachers must carefully study and fully understand all training materials available on the Notion page before the camp begins. Let's move on to page 10. This page is a screenshot of our Notion page. I would like to briefly introduce it to you. When you click the link I shared earlier, this is the page that you will see. Please take the time to open each section and read through all the information carefully. The content on this page contains important details about the camp, your responsibilities, schedules, teaching guidelines, and other useful information. Please make sure you review everything and become familiar with the contents before the camp begins. Let's move on to page 11. This page contains information about flight bookings. Please read the information carefully before booking your flight. We provide flight support of up to 1 million Korean won per teacher. The flight reimbursement will be paid together with your salary at the end of the camp. One very important requirement is that you must submit both your e-ticket and your flight payment receipt. Without these documents, we will not be able to process your flight reimbursement. So after booking your flight, please make sure to send us your e-ticket and receipt as soon as possible. Let's move on to pages 12 and 13. Page 12 contains information about the first online meeting. Before the camp begins, we will have an online meeting to discuss important information, answer questions, and help everyone prepare for the camp. Please make sure to attend the meeting on time. The next page contains information about the first offline meeting. As mentioned earlier, the offline meeting will take place on July 26th at 11 a.m. During this meeting, we will introduce the camp team, review important procedures, and prepare for the first day of camp operations. Please review both pages carefully and make sure you understand the meeting schedules and requirements. Let's move on to the next page. On this page, you can find the camp schedule, the regular class schedule, the first day schedule, and the final day schedule. Please review these schedules carefully so that you clearly understand the daily flow of the program. Below that, you will find the student list. Please check the student information and become familiar with the students assigned to your classes. One of the most important sections is the book section located below. When you click on book, you will be able to see all of the textbooks and materials used in this camp. Textbooks may be changed depending on the student's English proficiency levels. Let's move on to page 20. In the speaking test section below, you will find both the placement test and the final test. The format of the placement test and the final test is exactly the same. For example, let's click on the placement test. When the page opens, you will first enter the student's ID number. The student ID numbers will be provided on the test day. After entering the ID number, click Next. You will then see a picture and a set of speaking questions. Please ask the student the questions and assess their responses according to the scoring criteria. There are two important things to remember. First, please make sure that the student ID number is entered correctly. An incorrect ID number may result in the student's test being recorded incorrectly. Second, you must complete all pages of the test and click Submit on the final page. If you stop before the last page or forget to click Submit, the test results will not be recorded. So please make sure to complete the entire test and submit it successfully at the end. Below that, you will find the Final Test Writing section. The final writing test should be created by the teachers themselves. You can create the test based on the content and lessons that your students have studied during the camp. If you click on the sample file, you will see the format and structure that we use. Please use the sample as a reference when creating both the final writing test and the answer sheet. It is very important that all final writing tests and answer sheets are completed by August 14th. After you have finished preparing them, please inform Director Annie. Let's move on to page 23. All teachers are required to prepare a lesson plan before the camp begins. The lesson plan must be completed by the first week of July. If you click on the template below, you will be able to view the required format. Please download the template and complete your lesson plan using that format. After you have completed your lesson plan, click on Lesson Plan Upload and upload your file. Once the upload is complete, please send a message through WhatsApp to let us know. This is important so that we can confirm that your lesson plan has been successfully submitted. Let's move on to page 24. The class reports section below is very important. When you click the folder, you will find two files inside. Each teacher should open the folder for their assigned class and complete the student evaluations. Before writing the reports, please read the evaluation guidelines on the Notion page carefully. All weekly report cards must be completed by Sunday each week. For example, let's open the Global Class folder. After the placement test on the first day, students will be assigned to their classes. Once the class assignments are finalized, the student names and information will automatically appear in the data sheet. You will see student information listed from Student 01 to Student 10. Teachers do not need to edit any other sections. Your responsibility is to write the weekly comments for each student. Please write at least 5 sentences for each student's comment. The comments should be meaningful, specific, and based on the student's actual performance and progress during the week. For the final week, all report cards must be completed by Thursday because Thursday is the day off during the last week. Please make sure your reports are detailed and professional. If a report is too short, incomplete, careless, or contains inappropriate comments, you may be asked to revise and resubmit it. These report cards are very important to parents, so please take your time and write them carefully. Please also note that all report cards must be completed before salary payments can be processed. Let's move on to page 25. This section below contains information about the first day orientation and the final test schedule. Please make sure to open and review all of the information carefully. These pages include important details about the procedures, schedules, and responsibilities for both the first day and the final day of camp. It is important that all teachers understand these processes before the camp begins. If you have any questions after reviewing the information, please feel free to ask. Let's move on to page 26. The next sections are class structure and teaching method and class guidelines. These pages explain the teaching methods and classroom guidelines used in our Kota Kinabalu Family Camp. This is one of the most important sections in the entire Notion page. Please make sure to read all of the information carefully and understand the contents. We expect all teachers to follow these teaching methods and guidelines throughout the camp. Please take the time to review them and remember the key points before the camp begins. There is one important point to remember about the global class. The global class is divided into 2 zones. The first is the phonics zone, and the second is the basic English zone. Students will be placed in either zone based on their English level and learning needs. One teacher will be responsible for both zones and will alternate between the 2 groups during class. Please make sure to manage your class time effectively so that both groups receive appropriate instruction and support. Also, please read the class guidelines carefully and follow them throughout the camp. These guidelines are important for maintaining consistent teaching standards and ensuring a positive learning experience for all students. Let's move on to page 27. This page shows the class structure of our camp. Director Annie will serve as both the camp director and the camp manager. We have 2 classrooms in the program. Classroom 1 is the growable class. This class will be supervised by 1 Korean teacher. Classroom 2 is the awesomeable class. This class will also be supervised by 1 Korean teacher. The Korean teachers will support classroom management, student care, communication, and overall class operations throughout the camp. Please work closely together as a team to provide the best learning experience for our students. Let's move on to page 28. This page also explains our class structure. The growable class is divided into 2 zones, the phonics zone and the basic English zone. 1 teacher will be responsible for both zones and will alternate between the 2 groups during class. Most students in the growable class are expected to be in grades 1 to 3. The awesomeable class is designed for students with upper beginner to intermediate English proficiency. Most students in this class are expected to be in grades 4 to 6. Students will take a placement test on the first day, and final class placements may change slightly based on the results. However, we expect the class structure to be very similar to what is shown here. For the parent classes, we will use a speaking-focused textbook. Most parents are expected to have a beginner to lower intermediate level of English. There will be approximately 10 to 12 parents participating. To ensure better interaction and speaking practice, the parents will be divided into 2 groups, and each native English teacher will teach 1 group. Let's move on to pages 29 and 30. These pages show photos of the school where our classes will be held. The photos will help you become familiar with the learning environment before arriving in Kota Kinabalu. You can see the classrooms, common areas, and facilities that will be used during the camp. Please take a moment to look through the photos and get a general idea of the school environment. More detailed information will be provided during the offline meeting when we visit the school. Let's move on to pages 31 and 32. Page 31 shows the exterior of our accommodation. The accommodation is a mixed-use residential building, so there are many shops, restaurants, cafes, and convenience stores nearby. This makes it very convenient for daily living during the camp. Page 32 shows the interior of the accommodation. The unit consists of 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. Each teacher will have their own private bedroom. You will share the common areas such as the living room, kitchen, and bathroom with the other teacher staying in the unit. Please help keep the accommodation clean and organized throughout the camp. Let's move on to page 33. This page shows the transportation schedule. On class days, the camp shuttle will depart from the accommodation at 8:50 a.m. with the students and teachers and travel to the school. After classes finish, the shuttle will leave the school at 4:30 p.m. The students will first be dropped off at their swimming or golf lesson locations before returning to the accommodation. After arriving back at the accommodation, teachers who are scheduled for parent classes should go directly to the designated cafe and conduct their lessons there. Please make sure to follow the transportation schedule and arrive on time for all departures. Let's move on to page 34. Information regarding your contract and salary will be provided separately. Please review the documents carefully once you receive them. If you have any questions about the contract, salary, or payment process, please feel free to contact us. Additional details and instructions will be shared individually. Let's move on to page 35. This page explains the reimbursements and allowances provided during the camp. On teaching days, we provide a lunch allowance of 30 ringgit per day. Since there are 5 teaching days each week, the total lunch allowance is 150 ringgit per week. If you need teaching materials or stationery for your classes, you may purchase them and request reimbursement. The maximum stationery allowance is 40 ringgit per week. Please keep and submit your receipt for any stationery purchases. Also, all stationery and teaching materials purchased with camp funds must be returned to the camp team at the end of the program. In addition, we provide a 50 ringgit allowance for a local mobile SIM card that you can use during the camp. Please keep your receipts and submit them when requested. Let's move on to the final page, page 36. This concludes the pre-online meeting for the Kota Kinabalu Family Camp. Since the information shared today is very important for your participation, please make sure to review and fully understand all the details. Once the camp begins, we kindly ask all teachers to always show a warm smile to the children and parents. Please support each other as teachers, help one another when needed, and work as a team so that we can successfully complete the entire camp together. If you have any questions, we will communicate through WhatsApp. Please share your WhatsApp ID or phone number so we can add you to the group. With that, we will conclude today's meeting. Thank you very much for your time and participation.